Welcome back, friends. So at this point, Nate and I had left Italy and were making our way to Lucerne, Switzerland. At our train stop, we went to Binaro Lugano, which was a little cafe. I got a pistachio croissant, and Nate also got a croissant and some coffee. After we got done eating our breakfast, we admired the sights and loaded the Gotthard Panorama Express. Gotthard Panorama Express is a Swiss rail, and it has honestly some of the most phenomenal sightseeing experiences. You have these huge windows where you fully feel like you're just engrossed in the surroundings and the scenery around you, and you get to see these little cute alpine villages and beautiful mountain landscapes, and it was honestly such a highlight of our journey towards Lucerne, Switzerland. One moment that stands out is there was this cute little couple that is known for when the train goes by, they will wave their Swiss flag very proudly, and that was a highlight of the journey. We then disembarked the Gotthard Express and were at Flüelen to go on our next leg of our journey. Nate and I stopped to get some refreshments before boarding our boat that would journey us through Lake Lucerne. Similar to the Gotthard Express, our boat journey was absolutely phenomenal when it came to these breathtaking, beautiful, jaw-dropping, scenic experiences. It was phenomenal. So Nate and I, we just sat on board and we were able to kind of go about the boat and look at all the different scenery around us. And this lake is so clean and just this beautiful turquoise color. They also have a lot of waterfalls that go into the lake as well. And again, it was just truly a peaceful, quintessential experience. My husband and I said Auf Wiedersehen to our boat adventure, and we got our luggage and started to walk towards our hotel in Lucerne. We were taking it pretty slow, taking in Lucerne's mix of culture and history and their beautiful architecture. We arrived at our hotel and dropped off our luggage and then went back out again to explore more of Lucerne. We had to document some of the dachshunds we saw in Lucerne. Nate and I meandered down some of the streets in Lucerne, and there was a lot of bakeries, there were restaurants, there were shopping options. One of the things Lucerne is very famous for is their historic wooden bridges, and they are some of Lucerne's most iconic landmarks. It was also really neat to see some public water fountains that come out of the fountains in different places in Lucerne that you can just fill up your water bottle. So again, that was a really neat feature. We saw another dachshund, asked if we could pet it. The owner was very nice and said we could. After we walked around some more, the stores actually closed at 5 p.m. on Saturdays, which was the day that we arrived. And so we went back to the hotel to kind of plot our next day. And so the next morning, Nate and I got up and started our adventure towards Starbucks because Starbucks was the only place that really had matcha. And so on our way, we went to Chapel Bridge. This bridge has 120 triangular paintings under the roof beams, and it depicts a lot of Swiss and Lucerne history. This bridge also remains one of the oldest covered bridges in Europe, which was really a cool feature to just walk through the bridge and just know the history that you're standing in. We stopped in the Swiss souvenir shop on our way to Starbucks. Once we arrived at Starbucks, we were able to look at some of their bakery items, and again, they are very different than American items. So they had these pistachio passion sweet trinities, which we got. I'm actually gluten sensitive, so I don't have gluten in the US, but I was able to eat it over there with really no symptoms, which was amazing. We sat next to a lady who, of course, had a dachshund, and we got to pet our little dachshund just because we were missing our dogs, and it was kind of fun to see all the little dachshunds in Lucerne. So honestly, a lot more than I anticipated. We were planning to go to the Meggenhorn Castle this day, so we ended up going to the grocery store, getting a few little items to snack on, and then we took our bus to go to the Meggenhorn. Where are we walking to, honey?
We were walking to Meggen's Castle.
Meggen's Castle. Okay, let's go to Meggen's
I believe
Castle.
it's pronounced Meggen.
Meggen. Okay, Meggen's Castle. It's a historical.
Only open on Sundays.
Wow, and it's Sunday.
So when there's nothing to do because all the shops are closed, this is something to do on Sunday.
So the Meggenhorn Castle, as Nate corrected my pronunciation, is really a picturesque 19th century estate. It's perched above Lake Lucerne. So over centuries, it's passed between various members of Lucerne's elite, eventually becoming a stately residence with gardens in the 17th and 18th centuries. Around 1870, they transformed the property into a romantic Lorry Valley-inspired chateau that we see today. So Nate and I were able to go into the castle, take a tour. You weren't able to film in there, so I wasn't able to capture anything, but it really was a cool experience. Nate and I journeyed towards the farm portion, which is down the hill of the property, and we saw this cute little orange farm cat and also the gardens. It was cool to see that this farm really was like a functioning farm that visitors got to see on the weekend. So it was really a cool privilege. They also had a cute little restaurant that overlooked the lake. So Nate and I did stop in there. Nate got a coffee and we just took in the beautiful views. Once we got done taking in the breathtaking views of the Meggenhorn, we started walking our way back towards the downtown area of Lucerne. And again, we just really wanted to enjoy nature and just take it all in. And so we had seen this lakeside restaurant on our way towards the Meggenhorn, and so we wanted to stop there for lunch. I got a little mocktail. Nate and I both got some burgers, which were delightful and absolutely delicious. The ducks also kept us company. Nate and I were just able to discuss some of our favorite moments of that day so far. The last historical site we wanted to take in that day was the Musikval and its towers. This was built around 1386 after Lucerne's victory in the Battle of Sempach. The Zientern clock still works today, and it still has all of its mechanisms and bells, which was really cool to see. You also have some of the best panoramic views of Lucerne, Lake Lucerne, and Mount Pilates from this tower. That's cool.
I do love the church bells.
Yeah, that is a really cool sound. We ventured our way to downtown Lucerne and got a little bit hungry, so we needed a snack of gelato. Again, pistachio is such a prevalent flavor in Europe, so we got some pistachio ice cream, which was sublime. Nate and I started walking towards the grocery store mall area, and we did do a little bit of shopping. I did get a little Lucerne postcard that I wanted to frame in our house when we got back. We also got some snacks for the following day as we were planning to hike Stoos Ridge. Good morning from Switzerland. So this is our day 3. We're actually going to head out on a hike to Stoos Ridge. It's like an iconic walking trail that's like up in the mountains, and you get to have all of this beautiful view of Lake Lucerne. We're gonna go explore it. So what do you think, honey? Are you ready to do Stoos Ridge? Are you excited? Yeah?
Yeah, this is like my highlight
This is your highlight. Yeah, this is going to be really fun.
Except you, of course.
For me, of course.
Naturally.
Obviously. And then we're going to go get some matcha and some coffee for Babe. And we're going to be ready for this hike. Nate and I took a bus to arrive at the Stoos Ridge funicular, which would take us up the mountain to get to the ridge, and they were actually very pet friendly. There were quite a few dogs that we saw along the way. As you ascended the mountain, the views were simply breathtaking. Nate and I were hiking up where the ski lift would take us up to the ridge. We found this cute little restaurant and play place. Nate and I didn't stop there though, we just kind of continued on towards the top of the ridge. As we ascended the mountain, Nate and I were both just looking around at the fairy tale-like scenes around us. We were like, surely it can't get more beautiful, and it continued to just get more and more beautiful. This hike is absolutely a must if you are in Lucerne or close to it. The 360 views are just incomparable to any other hike or place that we had gone in Europe. On one side of the ridge, you had this beautiful pasture land where the little happy cows with their bells were happily grazing, and it was just so idyllic. And on the other side, you have this beautiful mountainous forest and ravine that went down. You could see Lake Lucerne, and it was honestly breathtaking. Nate and I took so long on this hike. We were purposefully being very slow to be very mindful of our surroundings, which included just a plethora of mountain flowers with little mountain bees busy at work, and it was absolutely stunning and beautiful. They have a few picnic benches along your hike where you can sit down, just take in the views, and also replenish your energy with a snack or two. As we were walking along, we actually saw a helicopter drop I think it was like a rescue person into the mountain, and so we weren't sure if it was like just a drill or someone needed help, but it was pretty cool to see they have a whole team on staff with the Swiss Alps to help people if they need it. So part of the hike actually goes through a cow pasture. So if you want to pet a cow, you are welcome to. But once we got done bonding with our Swiss cow, we headed up the last leg of the trail, which was actually a very steep incline. What would you say about this portion of the hike?
They put the hardest at the very end so that you beg for mercy and are so thankful to see the chairlift. That's what they do.
That's exactly what they do.
That's the plan.
That's their plot.
Yeah.
Yeah. We arrived at the end of the trail where the ski lift would bring us down, and at the end they have a play place for kids as well as a goat petting area. And so I did feed a goat, which was so cute. Their little lips are so soft like velvet. It was so cute. Nate and I descended the mountain via the ski lift and enjoyed the views on our way down. We ended up getting to the little mountain village where we were able to look at some of the local cheeses from the cows, and it was just such a delightful experience. This was our last day in Lucerne, Switzerland. So Nate and I headed back, got packed up for our next location, which is Meran. And so feel free to like and subscribe this video to follow along to our next European city.